Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Limelight. My name is Lime and my guest today is Teeny.
Hello.
Hi, Teeny.
Hi.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate doing intros. I'm like the worst with intros and outros. Like you'll discover this.
No, it was fine. It was fine. I think you're fine.
Welcome.
It's not like you need to do like a today on tonight's show we got the man, the Swede, the Spartan himself, Tina's Teeny. You know?
It's like something Mech would probably do if she was a podcaster.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
has, like these like giant intros and stuff. Like that's actually how I found you. If I remember, I found you through Mech.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was gonna say because I have like a huge list of friends, and I'm like, how did I find this person? Was this just on my stream, or is this like from someone else's? And I was like, yeah, Teeny, you're definitely like on the Mech side of everything. So that's
Yeah. Mech is a very dear friend of mine, a close friend to mine.
Same here.
So yeah, I've met a few people through Mech as well, and that's the whole why I think the whole community with VTubing and streaming alike is like you meet so many people, from all around the globe basically,
Mhm.
and like with different you know things that they think of or have been through and stuff like that, and it's really fun to like talk and get to know people.
Mhm.
Because like usually you find like very like-minded people as well, and that's amazing how many friends I made in a very short period of time.
And
Not like people I just hang out with and don't know, but people I know on like a deeper level, so to speak, friend wise.
I think it's funny to bring that up because, like, I would say before VTubing, like, I probably did not talk to as many people as I do now. Cause it's funny, it's like, I'm a social butterfly online and stuff, but, like, if you met me IRL, I'm gonna be, like, talkative, but not, like, too talkative. I'll be like, oh, hey, what's up? Bring up a subject a little bit, and then I just go into hermit mode where I don't
Yeah.
talk to anyone because it's just how I've
Like,
been, like, since I was a kid.
yeah. Like I'm very extroverted, so like
Mhm.
talking to people and get to know people is not a problem for me. But I could only imagine how it would feel like to be like introverted and having like being like a little bit closed, so to speak, and having issues, not issues, but having a hard time of getting to know people because you're either shy or other stuff.
And I
And
mean,
it's just it's fun like to meet people and see people open up, open the shell a little bit and get to know people.
oh yeah, and that's kind of the funny thing with me too. It's been like that for a lot of people because they're like, I don't talk to anybody, and then they started VTubing or knowing a VTuber, and then they just their shell breaks and they actually start talking to more people and
Yeah,
stuff. And
it's super fun, honestly.
I like that too. Like, I it's just because it's a good common interest. Like for me, like pop culture is like a big part of my life. So like that's why I know about video games, movies, TVs, and stuff like that. And I'll just be like, hey, do you know this one game or this one show? Because like as a kid, that was like the only way I could communicate to other people. I'd be like, I don't know how to talk to people, so I'll
Yeah.
just be like, do you like video games? Yeah. Do you like Mario? Yeah. And then like, cool, I made a friend. And
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because there's like shows that most of the people I met throughout my life had no idea about, like certain like 90s cartoons and stuff that I grew up with. Because when I grew up, I watched a lot of like Cartoon Network, Hits for Kids, or Jetix, whatever it was
mm,
called, Nickelodeon. There's a few discontinued show that didn't last very long. That people like, oh yeah, I remember that, or like have like the same interest and love for, kind of like Courage the Cowardly Dog, or
SpongeBob.
those kind of things.
You know what's funny? Was there any cartoons? So I have not actually got to bring this up, and I would love to now. So Teeny is from Sweden, correct?
Oh yeah,
So do
he
you have
is. I am.
any? He is, and I am. No, is there like any cartoons in Sweden that like you watch like that's never aired like in America or like most other places? Is there like any Swedish it's like Sweden cartoons that are like
I mean,
exclusive kind of thing?
yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I like to think that all countries has their own
Mm-hmm.
like type of like homebound cartoons that people cherish in their own like
Mm-hmm.
growing up as a kid and stuff like that. And there actually is a few. Sweden is like one of those countries, I believe, that do less animation, more live action children cartoons, so to speak,
Mm.
like shows, you know. And usually movies. Movies is a big part. But yeah, there is a few Swedish cartoons that I grew up with based on. All right, so. all right.
Explain yourself.
So I'm gonna try to explain it as good as I can.
Okay.
So there's a children book and teenage book, I guess it's called, and no kids book and young teenager book basically
Mhm.
called Sune, and Sune is as a common name
Mhm.
in Sweden. And I wouldn't say it's super common anymore, but it used to be at least. And Sune is a regular kid, but he is is how you call it in Swedish, how you say in Swedish, tjejtjusare, meaning he's one of those flirty guys. He's very flirty towards girls because he likes kisses and stuff like that. He's like he likes the butterfly feeling in his stomach and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's nothing like it's fairly innocent. He's not trying to jump in bed with them or anything. It's just he just
So
he falls in love with girls a lot, so to speak. He gets crushes a lot.
is that like Johnny Bravo but for Swedish people?
No, I wouldn't say that. Johnny Bravo is more like he's like, hey mama,
Hey,
he's
oh.
Sin is more like he's trying to impress them and like to like have them like him back, basically, because he crushes a lot of on girls. And there is like the books are pretty funny because they're like funny stories and such.
It's like
And then
that's like my
there's
dating life.
yeah, and there's like it's like kind of like the awkward when you're growing up as a preteen,
Yeah.
the whole like you get like crushes of like the pretty person in your class, like that.
Mhm.
It's kind of like more like that rather than anything weird. It's very innocent and friendly and stuff like that.
Aw, I like that.
And there's a TV show, animated one that you follow him, and he do crazy adventures and stuff like that with his family and such.
Oh.
Because basically he has a family of himself,
Mhm.
his mom and dad, his younger brother, and his teenage sister.
Ooh.
And there is a book that is that you follow Sune, and he's like trying to win back his sister, older sister, because they used to be very close friends. But now, when she turned into a teenager, she's more like mean and nasty towards him because of puberty and stuff.
Mhm.
And like the whole book basically ends with like they had like he's like he's breaks down and it's like in front of her, so like I feel like I'm losing you as a sister. I love you. I just want to go back to the way it was between us. And she's like, well, of course, nothing has changed. I still love you. You're still my bro, my little brother. And it's very wholesome and sweet, Like, it's really very kind and heartwarming. That's like, that's one of the Swedish cartoons I grew up with. It's not my favorite one, I would say. I liked it, don't get me wrong. But, when it came to my childhood and Swedish things, like movies or series, it's more movies. Because, there are very good movies, either based on books or anything like people came up with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, with America, like, we have our exclusives, but it's like most people I know in like other countries know exactly a lot of our like the movies and cartoons and stuff we make. So that's why I'm always kind of curious because I'm like, is there stuff that's like swept under the radar that I don't know about and stuff like that? So it's always so interesting to talk to people because I had even like friends in Australia and stuff, and they have like a lot of like outdoorsy shows and stuff I've never even heard of. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know exactly what you mean. Like,
mhm.
because like I think there when I was growing up, there's a like a it's like a good morning show where people when kid wakes up early at summertime when they're off school and such, just, in the summer spring break, and they're you wake up early and can watch this like mishmash, like this TV program for kids where they show a different like shows and stuff like that, and they have like a bunch of like cartoons in that program, so to speak, for the kids, like Pokemon, and like maybe they have an episode of something else, and maybe 2 other shows basically. And I remember there is this show that is for kids, like young kids growing up, where it was one of the Swedish comedians and actors that I was growing up with, and he he had a lab coat on. He was wearing green pants and black shoes, and he had a a pot on his head, like one of those pots you boil potatoes in, basically, or pasta.
Why?
Yeah, because his name was Dr. Cosmos.
I think
yes,
you call him Dr. Pothead.
No, he was not high or anything like that. He was, and the whole niche with him was he was a animal doctor, so or a veterinarian that could speak to animals. And like he drove like a green Vespa as well instead of a car. So whenever he came to like help an animal or something like that, he came with his green Vespa and his like little brown bag with like the stethoscope and stuff like that to like listen to the heart and breathing of animals and stuff. And he was talking to animals, and it was literally him acting towards a real animal. And they just put in like voice lines on top of the animal that he heard them talk, basically. There was no lip movement. It was just, I remember he was talking to a pony that was depressed or something about something, that he wasn't big enough like the big horses in his, family. And like, so what is wrong? I'm just upset. It's like, yes, this pony zoom in on his face, like, looking very depressed. Like, I'm just very depressed.
I'm very depressed. Mr. Horse, why are you so depressed? They're turning me into glue tomorrow.
No, it's nothing like that. But yeah, that's the whole niche, the whole thing. It was I loved it because it was so wacky. It was fun, and I loved it.
It's like funny. It's like, oh no, he doesn't get high or anything. Yeah, but he drives a green Vespa and talks to animals in their mouth. So
it has a pot on his head and a lab coat, and called Dr. Cosmos. Yeah, but Cosmos for us is like, yes, Cosmos. It's just a little funny, wacky name, so to speak. It's not like the space and stuff like that. It's more like
Because I know that Cosmo here is like kind of short for Cosmo, so it's like about space talk and stuff.
It was not at all talking about space. There was no space talk at all. It was just this guy helping animals out, basically, that he could talk to. Like knock off Doodle, like the movies, where the doctor can talk to animals, basically.
We actually had something like that similar here in America, and it was called Zoomafoo. And so,
really?
Yeah. So what it was is that supposedly they didn't talk to the animals and stuff like that, but you got to learn about animals, and they had like little food dispensers, so they bring on like all these different animals, reptiles, etc. And they had big food feeders. They talk about animals, this and that. My favorite one is that they had a people feeder, so like they had like human food, and it was always full of pizza. So like, why don't we?
Of course. So like because that's the thing we only ate is pizza.
Yeah. So like whenever they like had a special guest on and it was like human, they'd be like, all right, let's give them a human treat, and they like turn it and just has a slice of pizza in it.
Pizza. But hey, who doesn't like pizza?
Oh my god! Speaking of pizza, I've been watching this guy on YouTube that does these like 1 bite reviews. It's called like 1 Bite. Everybody knows the rules or something. And it's like the funniest thing, because he'll have like homeless people yelling at him and stuff to give him a slice, and he's like, well, you got to be on camera if you want to review, and they're like, no, I don't want to. It's like, then go away. And like you have like
then go away.
Yeah, and then he has like little distractions like that, and It's really funny. If you guys don't watch them, honestly, just look up One Bite and like you'll find a lot of them are kind of just point and click. It's like he tries the pizza and he leaves and it's like, okay, yeah, it's 7.5, and then that's like the end of the video. But then you have some of them where just like the weirdest things will happen. Like one of them was he got a really bad like ice cold slice, and then some employee comes up and goes, "Do you have permission to film here today?" And the guy's like, "No." And he's like, "You two need to get out of here." And he like points like in the direction, and then he just is like, "This pizza is like garbage." And then the employee takes the pizza from him. He's like, "Here, I'll take this so you don't litter." And he just like takes the pizza out of his hand basically, and he like spits the pizza on the ground and walks away. And
wow.
So get this though, the reason why this gets so much more interesting is because after that video came out, and even still to this day, they get 1-star reviews just because that guy got kicked off the patio.
Really?
Yeah. So
man, that's nuts.
it is. It really is crazy because all it was that he got a bad slice of pizza and he had a bad experience because the guy basically took his pizza and told him to get out. And then, and then they got all these 1-star reviews. And
I kind of like want to go there like to give a 2-star review just because.
Give it 1.5. Be like, eh.
Yeah, it's like and the comment will be like, "I feel sorry for this place." Just leave it 2 stars.
Yeah, and so he does do a redemption. Here's the funny thing: he did a redemption when he does go back. They gave him a different thing of pizza, and he still ranked it like 7. And he tried to like fix the damage, but the thing is though, is like he in a comment said like he didn't want people to go and harass the place and try to shut it down. He just he had a bad experience and stuff like that. And he goes, honestly, any customer even not filming or doing stuff like that should not have been treated like that. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, people are going to go extreme on the internet, especially for somebody very famous like that, you know, saying this pizza sucks.
Right.
So it's like you could have, like, I don't know, like insert billionaire, millionaire, celebrity.
Yeah.
If they take one bite of your pizza and they say it sucks, then yeah, you're going to get like 30,000 1-star reviews.
It's kind of like it's influencing people to like think in that way that the influencer is saying, basically.
Well, yeah, because like if I were to have like chicken wings somewhere and be like, you know, they were cold, they were gross, they didn't have enough sauce, 1 star, and then like that lime slush ate there. Lime slush had that chicken. That's a 1 star. I haven't had it and I've never been there and I will never go there. But Lime said 1 star, so let's all give it 1 star. It's like that's kind of the circle of the beast. It's like because if it was just me myself and nobody knew it was me, then it's just like I put 1 star in, then I just kind of blend in with the other 1 stars or 2 stars, or I get my comment deleted as a troll. Yeah. That's actually happened to me though too. Like I had that happen a few times when I bought stuff online. I would like leave 1 star. Like a guy lost my package, and I was like, "So what can we do since my package got stolen?" And the guy was like, "Nothing, sorry." And I left a 1-star review. Like I said, he didn't insure the package like he told me he did, because he said he insured it and he ended up not insuring it. And then he's like, "Oh, you can't do anything. You lost your $20 item." And then I wrote a 1-star review about how rude he was. And then he just deleted it. And I'm like, it's not a troll. It's true. The guy sucks. He needs to be, deserves that 1 star. But some people can do that though, where it's like, oh, I have nothing but 4 and 5 stars.
It's very influential.
Yeah, it's like I have nothing but 4 and 5 stars. What about like anything 3 and below? It's like, oh, those are deleted. Those are probably just trolls. It's like, no, you probably have some criticism and don't want to take it.
Yeah, like I remember. I saw this restaurant in Sweden. I don't know. I'm not gonna say the name by reasons, of course. But
everybody,
I was just see.
Everybody,
go attack it. No, but it's like one of those steakhouses or restaurants, basically. And I was like, I have heard people go in there. Maybe I should try it out sometime. Blah blah blah. And then my friend, that this is just by highly like out of nowhere, I got to know this information. He used to work as a truck driver, and he was delivering like frozen goods to this place. I was like, oh, cool, that's cool. Yeah, he's like, yeah, no, it's pretty not cool. Like, why? Well, first of all, their food is not that great, and I have seen their fridges; they're disgusting, and the freezer is also disgusting. They're serving like old meat that is like. It's not fresh. It looks like the whole meat in there it doesn't look red and like fresh. It looks brown.
Ew.
Look, and I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna eat there. And I actually not too long ago I talked to a friend of mine that like, oh yeah, we went there and and got food. I'm like, really? Like yeah. Why? Like I will never eat there. I'm like, why? No, because I've heard this, from them, and they're like, man, that explains so much because they took forever to get our food ready and it sucked. It was not tasty at all. Like, yeah, probably there's a reason behind it. I'm like, fuck. And then I was like, no, fuck that. We're not going to go there again.
I actually, that's a funny thing too, because I have had incidents and stuff because I have to work at a restaurant as well. And so there's times where it's like I look and I'm like, everything looks so clean and this and that. And then I'll eat somewhere else and it'll taste so terrible. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just because I know how clean our kitchen and back room is, or if it's just in general the place. So it's like, because like, as a customer, you'll never know if that place is clean or not, or if they store their food well.
No. I usually try to like whenever I see a new place I want to go to, I try to ask around and see what people think of it, and I go there. I check the place out and then I order, to see if it gives me any bad vibes, like, oh, this doesn't look good, any red flags, so to speak. But so far, I haven't had any issues with that.
I actually have a fun restaurant story. So once we were like on this road trip, and my mom said she was hungry or something, and we were like in the middle of nowhere, like legit, like middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So my dad was driving. Is like got us annoyed. He's like, okay, fine, we'll pull somewhere. And so we found this one little diner that you could tell it was like in the smallest itty-bittiest town in the universe. Like, you could just tell it only had like a few shops and then that diner basically. And so they had like a bunch of people in the diner like just surrounded like in like this football gear. And the waiter goes, it's like, hey, I'll get you a table in a minute. And he's like, oh, you must be one of the other football players, right? And I looked at him like so confused because I wasn't. And so, like, everybody like it was like one of those like movies where like one thing happens and like everybody stops what they're doing and stares. Like that legit happened to me. Yeah. They like all like some of them stopped eating and just stared at me with like these death eyes.
Oh no! Oh no! That's like, awful.
Yeah, because I didn't even look like. I mean, I'm a big boy, but like not like built like a football player or anything. But the guy just goes, "You must be from the other team," and like everybody just started staring at me and my family.
Oh no!
We slowly just creeped, like walked backwards and out, and we got in the car and busted out laughing. It was so awkward.
Oh no!
It's just like that effect. It's just imagine walking into a diner, somebody saying something like that, and then just everybody staring at you with death eyes, like you should not be here.
It's like the fucking SpongeBob movie when Patrick and SpongeBob walks into like the bar with all these rough fish in it, yes. And they like have this seaweed mustache on, thinking they're men, like, and everyone's looking at them and they're standing there like in the middle of the spot, like, no.
I know, I'm like in the back trying like not to sing the Goofy Goober theme song.
Yeah. I'm a goofy goober, yeah.
Goofy goober, yeah. We're all goofy goobers, yeah. Goofy goober, yeah.
Fucking try not to break while interrogate who fucking is the goofy kids.
Patrick, we blew that bubble. Doesn't that make us the double bubble blowing baby?
Oh Lord.
That's such a good movie. I have seen that so
it
many
is.
times. Like,
it is.
I didn't see the other movies though. There's like I think 2 other movies and I have not seen them.
I love the opening of that movie. It's like SpongeBob is all serious, right? And walks in with like a case, like, and there's a guy sitting there all by himself in a restaurant and panicked and shit. And it's like he doesn't have cheese on his fucking Krabby Patty. And it's like, what's your name? Mike, stay with me, Mike, and start. Like it's like almost like diffusing a bomb situation. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, I love this.
It's so smart. Like that was like a big show when I was younger. Was watching SpongeBob. That was so funny. Like
it is really smart, honestly.
Well, like that's the funny thing though. Like I wanted to go see the other one where they're like all like out of water and stuff, but like I
Oh, it's actually okay. That's a right movie.
I saw
I
the
like it.
reviews were so bad though. Like that's what
I
made me
mean,
not
yeah.
go. The reviews are
I mean, I
terrible.
see why. It's not the, in my opinion, it's not the best SpongeBob movie, but it's all right in my opinion. It's a, it's. I love the animation style of like
Mhm.
the characters. It's like really like how I would, most cartoon 3D movies would do instead of doing, live action and shit. Like kind of like how they did. Oh, I can't look at this movie anymore. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh no, no.
Yeah, like I liked that movies when I was younger, but now I rewatched it. Like,
It's such a
man, they
terrible
don't look
movie.
good. They look so fucking fake. Like
Oh.
some cartoon characters should stay cartoon characters and not
Mhm.
try to be like, you know,
Mhm.
live action and stuff. That the only one I think they nailed was like Scooby Doo. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah, it's
okay because he is a big dog, and it looks like a pit bull kind of way or a Grand Danois, whatever it's called, like the big dogs. The big
mhm.
those huge dogs that that has big paws and stuff like that.
I was
It looks like one of those.
And that's the funny thing with Scooby Doo. It's like I talk to so many people, like young and old, and like I feel like Scooby Doo is like neutral territory because it's like
Yeah,
I think I've known more
it's.
people that like Scooby Doo than hate it.
I think Scooby Doo is one of those things that most people actually encounter or get exposed to as a kid,
Mhm.
as a cartoon, because it's such a good cartoon. Honestly, it's like it's mystery solving teenagers or young adults
Mhm.
with a talking fucking dog that is a big coward basically, and they have this duo with Shaggy, which is arguably one of the greatest fucking characters in cartoon history.
We did for Halloween. I was actually gonna upload a special. It was like me and some friends were watching the Scooby Doo on Zombie Island thing.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
movie.
we were reacting to it, and we were just like in awe of like because we're like, oh man, this movie's so good. We'll rewatch it, da 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 da, and we watched it, and it's like it's very okay, but it's just like it wasn't like what we remembered as kids. Like for some reason, that movie was bopping as a kid, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you get older, and it's like, damn, where's the
I like to
standard
think that's
a little
most
lower?
movies. Like when you like as a kid, like, oh wow, this is the best shit I ever seen. And then when you grow older, you kind of like have higher expectations because you've been exposed to other stuff that you found like, oh, this is really cool, and stuff like that. Or you just grown up and matured, so
That's why I
your
think.
brain doesn't fill in the gaps when as a kid, because when kids doesn't understand anything, they just feel. I like to think that like I did, I filled in the gaps how I like to things would be, and that's why I liked more stuff that I don't like today, so to speak.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I just think in general that's just how things are now because it's like I feel like when you watch like so many different reviews, you always have people who are like, this movie sucks and it's so terrible. And it's like that's like their whole thing is just saying stuff sucks and it's terrible. And then it's like you go see it's like
Yeah,
not that bad. What are you talking about?
yeah.
This
Like I don't know. I just remember like there was some. I remember this for like cartoons I adored as a kid, and when I went back, like, oh no, why did I even watch this?
I don't know if I really have a cartoon I could say that I did that. Like I enjoyed like a majority of cartoons when I got older. I would say okay. I take it back. Maybe one cartoon I could say I regretted watching was Baby Looney Tunes because that show came on when I was like sick. So if I was sick and stayed home from school, that was like my sick show because I was always on in the mornings and you could watch
Yeah,
tons of
right.
it. So, and I watch it now. I've seen like bits and pieces of it now. I was like, how the hell did I sit here for 30 minutes and watch this?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh God.
I would say though, like my favorite thing, like another show that I think is worldwide is always going to be Ed, Edd n Eddy. I think Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh, that is my childhood. You hit me right in the childhood right there, dude.
Well, like
The movie was good as well. When you get to meet fucking Eddie's big brother that you have heard so much about throughout the series.
I was only disappointed though it was not voiced by Danny himself, like he
Oh,
promised.
that would be cool.
Yeah,
That would be really
it
cool.
ended up being some other person who I didn't know too much about, but like the thing is, like a lot of people thought it was going to be Danny, and that was going to be kind of his like one character he played, and it's just like
Yeah, I mean, it's
But-
fine. I know what you mean, but I was just very excited to see Eddie's big brother because you have heard so much about him. You don't know if he looks like Eddie or if he acts like Eddie or anything like that. You just know he's this really cool big bro that he had.
I did
and
like though that they did make him like a Big Eddie though. That's what did make me happy. I was like, he's the Big Eddie.
and he has a soul patch as well. It's like such an awesome thing. And lives in a van.
Yeah,
Has like that.
a car.
And he had a stuffed camel in his room.
He had a whole car in his room. I was like, how the hell?
Oh yeah,
I still-
and a stuffed camel.
That
Yeah,
still
I
bugged
remember
me,
that.
like to this day, because like unless they knocked out that wall, how the hell did that car get in there?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that thought came to me as a kid. Like, how the hell did he get the car in there?
I know.
Did he assemble it in there somehow?
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm like, he could have. He could have in technicality,
yeah.
but it's like, I don't know. Like,
But still, the frame, like the car frame, is still big.
oh, actually, it does make sense now. You know why? Because remember when Double D he goes to open up the window for air, but there's no window; it's just bricks. That makes more sense.
Oh yeah.
He knocked out that wall, put the car in, and then laid a bunch of bricks right there.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, and then like on the outside, it's just like, because if I remember correctly, I don't think the outside even had a window or anything. So yeah,
No, I don't think so.
no, he knocked out that wall and then just put bricks there. So that actually makes a lot of sense. That's why he was a whiz at laying bricks.
You heard it here, folks. Lime and Teeny breaking cartoon mysteries like 20 years later.
That's it. This is no longer the Limelight podcast. This is Teeny and Lime solve cartoon mysteries.
Yeah.
In this episode of Bugs Bunny is shown with a rifle. Rifles weren't invented until this year. How the hell did he time travel and get this?
Number 15.
Burger King.
No, and something that is still bugging me. I don't know until this day. I don't know if you know this or anything. What is underneath Double D's hat?
Ooh.
Is he bald? Does he have long hair? Like, does he have a scar?
I actually know what it is.
Really? You know?
So there's an interview. He's done a few different interviews. And he says originally he was going to spoil it in the movie. Now, they did do a no hat Double D joke. But
Okay.
then he put the hat on and people like, so you didn't show it. Why? And he said originally he wanted to show something underneath the hat. And originally it was either going to be something like him having shorter hair, or maybe he got like hurt or something, has like a scar right there, like he has his hair but he has like a little bald patch. But then he said it was smarter just to leave it a mystery for the rest of time. He said because then it's whatever you want it to be. So it
would be iconic as well to remember.
And that's
like
why
no one.
He said that he's like, it's whatever you want it to be. So if you want it to be a bald patch, if you want it to be a second twin, if you want it to be anything, you think it and it's yours. And that's what he liked that idea more. And I do too. I think that's way more brilliant. I think it
is brilliant, but it's bugging me at the same time because I kind of want to know. You know.
Well, it's like Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin doesn't take his hat off much, but you already know what's underneath it, just hair.
It's just hair. Yeah. Not a lot, but is it? I don't remember.
No, he has like the 3 hairs out of the front, but like there's that episode where he's like, hey Naz, how about you borrow my hat? And he like puts the hat on her, and then she like hands the hat back to him, and you see his like little buzz cut kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it has a buzz cut. Yeah, I remember that.
That's why I was like, Kevin's hat was never even much of a mystery. People are like, who cares about Kevin? He sucks as a character.
Such a douchebag. Literally, like his opinion changes as the fucking wind. I don't like that about Kevin because he's like, he's a spoiled brat.
Well, I heard like
trying to be cool.
There's actually a theory that like Kevin and Eddie are actually like related, or like that's his like one of his.
I mean, they kind of look similar somehow. I don't know.
They kind of do have that like similarities and stuff, and they're like because that's why it's like once his brother left, his brother supposedly bullied Kevin the most, and then Kevin bullies Eddie in return because the brother bullied Kevin a lot. So it's like one of those
clever.
things. That's why
Yeah, clever.
remember that episode? He literally throws Eddie a little party and this and that because he gets all nervous because his brother was coming back. Because like Kevin was probably the most nervous because supposedly he bullied.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because like when I mentioned his big brother coming back, he's like, "Oh, your big brother! Oh shit, sorry!" And that picks up Eddie and brushes him off like because he's like he just knocked him over. I'm like, "Oh, your brother's coming! Oh shit!" Kind of like that,
Well, and that's the funny thing too. It's like his brother was like always full of mystery. It's like he messed with like Rolf's animals. He bullied Kevin a lot, and then like Sarah and Jimmy didn't really care. If you look, like Sarah and Jimmy didn't really care. So that means they weren't really involved with the brother. Like most
they weren't around because they're younger.
Well, remember Naz? Naz got all excited because she's like, "Oh, your brother!" Like she was all
started fucking dressed up and like makeup and stuff. Yeah.
So it's like that's what I liked about that though. Everybody kind of like different reactions. Like, at least those three did. Because as far as I know, Johnny and the other people didn't really care.
Yeah, no.
And then,
but Johnny is the guy with the plank, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a special little guy. I adore him for that.
Well, they did reveal one secret: the Kanker sisters. What's the ginger hair one?
Yeah, the one that's into Eddie.
Yeah, there's a part where she like lifts her hair up, and she does it a couple times in the episodes. Like you see like one eye, but like there's a part where she like gets shaken up or something, and you actually see a third eye underneath her hair. So she actually has 3 eyes.
No,
I'm serious. If you look it up, she does. She actually has a third eye.
That's nuts. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, like I was let's see, hold on. Let me see.
No, why did he do that? I don't like the mutants, so kind of like that weird. I like them to be,
Yeah, because I was so shocked too, because I was like, it had to be like this and that, but it's like if you watch the clip, like yeah, she did. She actually has a third eye. It could have been just the effect, is what some people
might be like a cartoon effect when it's shaken up.
That's literally a frame from the episode.
It is a third eye. Holy shit!
That's what I'm saying, because you never see her eyes. Like, so the other two on the main regular two makes sense. So the third one really could be there. So she could be like a little bit of a mutant, and like that's like her whole thing.
Oh no, yeah, I don't like that.
That's what I'm saying. It just goes. That's all we just do on this podcast. We're just gonna break cartoon mysteries.
Yeah.
Who had the third eye?
I also, as a kid, was very interested in trying like a jawbreaker. Like, I don't know, like they were looking so fucking delicious and different colors and stuff.
Yeah, that was me too. I remember buying one when I was a little kid. I bought like the big size one, and it was like the thing is too, like same thing. I could break that mystery too. It's like they chose the jawbreaker because they wanted a candy for like the cheapest candy, which at the time was a jawbreaker. It was like the cheapest candy you could buy in a candy store.
Yeah.
But also, as they said, it's because it was 25 cents, and then they could literally eat on it like all day. Like that was like the whole point. It's like so that way it's like you get gummy worms, it could be gone pretty quick. If you have chocolate, it's gone in like a couple minutes. But with a jawbreaker, you're gonna be licking it and sucking on it for like hours, So
it's just I had a jawbreaker as a kid as well, but it was just it tastes like sugar. There's no special flavor to it.
That's what
but in Eddie, they had like different flavors and stuff. Had like a lot of different flavors.
They had Japan flavor in this fantasy, like
which was actually
what the hell?
Yeah, the whole like bank of them, like different like countries and stuff. It was awesome.
I just wanted to know what Japan flavor tasted like. I was like, what is Japan?
Probably like cherry blossom, what it's called, like those kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Like I have had ice cream that had like Japanese cherry blossom, whatever, Japanese cherry, whatever it's called. And it's really good. It's like a mild cherry, like a cherry vanilla flavor, so to speak, in my opinion. At least the ice cream I got.
Oh, actually, speaking of candy, I have to ask you about this. Swedish fish is that actually a Sweden thing, or is that just the name of the candy?
You don't understand how often I get asked this question. So I can't really say if it is like specifically Swedish, but I have had Swedish fish way before I even knew about America, so to speak. American candy, because like as a kid, or still is to this day, like you can go into any grocery store, you can buy pre-packed candy in candy bags and stuff like that, like flavors and kinds and shit. But what I was grown up with most were like these, like you walk up to this like big, like how can I explain? Like there's different boxes, like a whole wall with different boxes, and you grab a little scoop, and you grab a paper bag, and you go and pick out your candy with a scoop and fill the bag up, and then you go and weigh the candy on a weight, and depending how heavy it is, the price you get from that, right? And I remember those Swedish fish that you guys eat are in those kind of things where you can like scoop it up as much as you want and mix them. It's kind of like how you mix candy the way you want. You pick the candy you want, the kind you like and stuff like that. And I remember that we had those fish, but it's not as soft as yours are, and as in different colors. We had, and it's not like blue or red and green. It's more like very like for me, like the Swedish fish for you guys are bright red, like candy bright red.
Yes.
But the ones I grew up with were kind of like half translucent, cloud like, and was one kind of very pale yellow one, an orange one, a green one, and a red one. That's what I grew up with, and it had different flavors.
And so that's the funny thing, because like we just have like the red one over here. Like once in a while we have like a blue one or something, and that's why I was like, I don't know what's Swedish about this. I don't know, just because they're sweet. Is it?
No, I have no idea what it calls Swedish fish. Honestly, like there's no like it doesn't look like a specific Swedish fish. Then maybe like herring, I guess. I don't know. No, not herring. Like what's it called? Like a small fish, like it's not a sardine. What's it called? Tuna? Not tuna is huge, bro. they're huge. Tuna is one of, if you knew how big tuna is, you would be surprised. They're like,
comes in a little can
because it's diced up. Like a tuna fish is like big as a tire, my man. They're really big fish. But they're and I have tried the American, like specifically like the brand Swedish fish, and I feel like the Swedish fish that you guys have a little bit sweeter than we have. Don't get me wrong, the fish we have is good because I remember clearly because it was one of my favorite candies as a kid. But yeah, no.
No,
it's I can't give you more of an answer than that because I don't know really if it is Swedish or not, but I knew as a kid I have had it, and it's in Sweden.
I would say for us, our candy, if you had to say like what's the most American candy you have, ours is basically Hershey, like anything Hershey. Because, see, that's the funny thing. It's so funny. So it's so popular here. Hershey candy bars, Reese's, anything made by them, Twizzlers, stuff like that. Very loved here in the States. But if you go anywhere else, people say it tastes like vomit. Like it's the grossest candy you can buy.
No, I wouldn't say it tastes like vomit. Like it's just the chocolate. The Hershey's chocolate is like I before I knew this, the whole thing with like the recipe is made to make it taste this way because back then they used sour milk.
Yeah.
And they decided instead of change it, they just kept the the taste because they like it like that way for some reason. And I don't know why, but they did. And I remember the first time I tried a Hershey's Kiss, or like chocolate from like Hershey's. I was like, and it was way before I knew that. I was like, man, is something off? I don't like it. I can't say what it is. Like, ugh, And then my American friend told me about that story. Like, Are you for real? Really? Are they stupid? They can really have some good chocolate hair on their hands, so they get like even better sales and stuff. And they decide to no, we want to keep it that way because people won't care or mind. Nasty.
Well,
However, the Swedish chocolate called Marabou, that is the stuff.
I've never had
Yes.
Marabou.
Oof! If you ever had, you will you will get like
Mm-hmm.
you don't want anything else than that.
So
I like to think that we have pretty good chocolate hair in Sweden.
I mean, somebody told me about Tim Tams. They're like, you need to go get Tim Tams. I'm like, I don't know what a Tim Tam is.
That's from Australia, right?
It's either Australian or like it's somewhere over there. Like, because I know is that like Tim Tams and Milo are like two of the biggest chocolate based items in like other countries,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I think Tim Tams are Australian, and then Milo is very big in like Asia culture and stuff like that. Like they have it on the menu.
Probably.
They have it on the menu of McDonald's. Like you can go to McDonald's and get a big thing on Milo, yeah, or Milo, whatever you want to call it.
That's pretty cool. I had no idea about that.
So it's funny that we sell it here in the States, but it's so not popular because like every time I go to a store, they're always overstocked with it. Like nobody buys it, and I'm like, at some point, I need to stop and go get it because it probably tastes different. Because I have some Nesquik in my right now, and it actually is an import from Mexico, and it actually tastes a lot sweeter, and it tastes really good, like really really good. So
yeah, I think isn't it like a thing with like sodas from like Mexico where you guys like taste better, like Coke, for example, Coca-Cola?
So they put them in glass bottles. That's why it's
they do the same thing here sometimes, and I anyone can fight me on this. Any soda, mostly like soda or beverage, like carbonated beverages, tastes so much better in glass bottles than plastic or cans. I like to think glass is superior than plastic bottles and then cans. Because I have had some very bad soda taste, like big brands like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, stuff like that in a can that tastes garbage.
I'm not the biggest soda person myself. So I have everything from a can here because it's the cheapest way to do it. But if I had more money, everything would be in a glass bottle because it does make a difference. There are places here where you can go to like restaurants and stuff and get a glass bottle, and you taste the difference. You can literally taste the difference, and trust me, if it wasn't like $6 or $7 for like 6 small bottles of soda, I would buy it more, but it's too expensive. Like even
it is
a regular sized glass bottle is like $3. It's ridiculous.
I think it's because of manufacturing costs as well, because glass bottles and caps and all those things. But it's recyclable, so I mean, hey,
they could throw all of it into glass bottles and we'd be happy again. The cans are cans are just cans. Like we crush them and then recycle them. So
we even have like chocolate milk in glass bottles here in Sweden.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Which is it's fucking good, dude. It's one of the best chocolate milks out there. It's just expensive because you can go to the store and buy a big carton and like this paper box of like milk, like 2 liters or something. And that will be good, but if you go and buy this Poco, which is called in Sweden Puku, which is a slang for the idiots, basically.
Milk.
But it's so good in glass bottles, honestly. You just shake it, you see it that like if it stands still for a long time, the chocolate sinks to the bottom, so you need to shake it before you open it. And when you open it, it has this really iconic, plop sound, because of the metal cap, and it's so good. It even claims like it's brewed and brewed. It's like it's mixed and the chocolate milk is made in the glass bottle in the fabric in like the where they make it. It's not like they do a big pot of chocolate milk and pour it in. No, they make it in the bottle already, which is pretty cool.
So like here we do have glass bottles with like milk and stuff. It's like very rare though. Like you can only find it in like certain towns and stuff like that. But it was so cool though because what you would do is that you get the milk or the chocolate milk and then you drink
Hmm.
it and then once it was done, you washed it out, brought it back to the store and you would actually get store credit. So you could actually
Yeah,
get like a few cents or something for just bringing the glass bottle back and
that's good. That's
Mhm.
good to make like people come back and buy more and
Yeah.
keep the planet clean. You
And
know, it's
also, the coolest thing about that was it was a local branch. So basically, you're
mm,
buying local milk, and
oh,
also
even better.
so you could buy like it could be like if I remember correctly, it was like $3 or $4, but then you'd get like 80 cents or something back for that. So it's like yeah, you're paying a little extra, but it's much more fresher and it helps the environment. I'm like, why don't more people do this? Is there something that's keeping us from
That's
having fresher
awesome.
milk? Like what's the issue?
I think it's a cost issue, honestly.
It has to be. Because hell,
Um,
even here in the States, milk goes up and down all the time. Sometimes it's
it
$2.80,
does.
sometimes it's $3.20, sometimes it's $3 exact. Like there's never a day where
Yeah.
it stays exactly the same price. It's very strange to me.
Yeah, something that I feel very sad about here in Sweden. We had the same issue here. Like milk farmers has a very hard time. They work really hard and for little money.
Oh,
And like the milk, like everyone wants milk in their fucking cereal and coffee and shit, or cooking food and such. It's just awful how they work so hard and they just have to get paid so little, by
mhm.
being milk farmers.
I mean,
But yeah,
I praise farmers. Like I could
mm-hmm.
never ever be a farmer. Like I've looked at the stuff they've had to do and like
They
I
work so
realized
hard.
I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, so much credit to them. Like, if you're a farmer listening to this podcast somehow,
mad
kudos to
respect,
you. Mad
mad
respect.
respect.
They're like listening to this, like, wait, what did they say? And it's like you hear moos and like different farm life in the
Yeah.
background. What?
The thing is, they're running a risk as well. If it's bad weather, like one season, and
Yeah.
their crop get affected by that, well, then their pay will get affected because, like I remember this summertime, one year, a bunch of years ago here in Sweden. I live in the south, that is
Um,
mostly, more, um, more farmers and open fields that they grow the crops and such, and it's just awful because like one summer it was very bright sun, no rain, it was dry as heck. It even went like on the news it has like, all right, if you go camping, please don't make any campfires because they don't want to. It's a very high risk of forest fires because it was so dried up. For
mhm.
a very long time it was like sunny and hot and no rains for a very long time. We're talking about weeks now, and the farmers actually had to cancel one season on themselves because most of the crops got dried up because they were not allowed to go and water the crops because we were afraid of like running low on water for people. They even said like don't use any unnecessarily water
Mhm.
if you can in your homes. Use it, save your water basically because they don't know how long this like dry season would last. And I remember I was driving home from work one day and I saw the fields I'm driving past, like they had to destroy their own crops because it was all dried out and it was smoking like crazy, because they had to redo everything. And it was awful, but like, and it's so much work. It's hours and days and weeks and months of work down the drain.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said it's just for me that's frightening. Like everything depending, like feeding others and life. It's
Hmm.
almost life itself in your that area could
Yeah, and like livestock,
struggle.
like
Yeah.
cows and any like farm animals, like they even had to put some farm animals down because they needed food for other farm animals, and they couldn't feed everyone because so they have to uh emergency slaughter. I don't know how to translate it, but it means like if you have too many, like if you have old and like farm animals and you need to feed them, instead of feeding them, they get put down basically, and they get sold to like do meats and stuff like that. And that's awful, but they sometimes it's needed to keep the farm going.
I was gonna say emergency slaughter sounds like a metal band.
I can't remember. Is this there's like a better descriptive name for it or word for it? I just can't remember what it is, but it's nothing. It's not like they're taking healthy animals and like
Oh yeah, no.
Exactly. It's more like they're
older animals basically.
Yeah, they're like on the last years basically. It's still awful, but
like
it's necessary to keep the other animals for getting fed and keep going basically.
Exactly. So, but on the subject of animal slaughter, I think this is a good stopping point for today. I think you've been an amazing guest, and this has honestly been so much
thank
fun.
you.
Like I've had a lot of fun. Yeah, this has been a blast. So. No, I definitely have enjoyed your presence today.
No, thank you. It was an honor to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
The pleasure is all mine.
Where can everybody find you?
Oh, so you can find me on either on Twitch /TNS_Teeny or on Twitter with the same name.
Excellent. So I guess just to wrap up the podcast, I got like one more question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it lunch or dinner for you right now?
It's actually nighttime. It's 1:56 a.m. Well, so it's almost 2 a.m. here.
God almighty. I've passed out at like like 1 or 2, so like you're stronger than me.
Yeah, I gotta jump into bed pretty soon and get some sleeps.
Heck yeah. But before you go, though, since breakfast is coming up, which IKEA court are you going to be going to get some breakfast? Teeny? Teeny! Oh, shit. I lost Teeny. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to the podcast. Episode 2 going to come right next week. Much love to everyone.